Mark Kuhrt here with Veterans Construction Services. I'm the owner. Sitting down here talking with Nate Black. He is a senior project manager.
Yeah,
that's what we call him.
Yeah.
How you doing today, Nate?
I'm good, Mark. How about you?
Good. And then I'm also sitting here with Leonardo Zapien.
Zapien.
I'll get it right, Leo.
Hey, what's up, guys?
All right, so we're going to have a conversation today about the claims process, mainly for restoration work, dealing with homeowners and so on. And we'll kind of get into it right away, Nate. So maybe you can tell us about the beginning of the process with the homeowner.
Yeah, definitely. So, where we live in beautiful southern Colorado, we get hailstorms. We get heavy hailstorms. So typically when a homeowner reaches out to us, we set up a time to meet with them, go over basically who we are, what we do, and then get into the process of doing an inspection. So our inspection entails getting on the roof, checking siding, gutters, all that good stuff to make sure the damage is there that warrants a claim. When we do have enough damage there to warrant that claim, then we need to have a conversation with the homeowner as far as, filing the claim, what to expect from us, all that good stuff.
Yeah, and when you're meeting with the homeowners and you're showing them the damage and talking to them about it, basically trying to set up to let them know what you're going to be showing the inspector when he comes out from the insurance company.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, I just kind of got off on a tangent there. So when the homeowner does call in that claim, we're going to have a storm date. We're going to set up a time for an adjuster to come out to look at the storm damage. We always let the homeowner know that it is imperative that someone from Veterans Construction Services is there.
It's the most important.
The most important part, that someone is there to meet the adjuster. When we do meet with the adjuster, go over everything again. Basically, we're trying to show what damage is there.
A lot of times people think they can just stand on the ground, look up at their roof and go, oh, I don't really see any damage up there. I get that a lot. And then I tell them, well, we actually got to physically get up there, look at it. You got to look up close because you're looking for fractures of the shingle from the hail damage or even wind damage that can occur that can crease a shingle and flip it over. So you're looking for stuff like that, and also kind of doing a general inspection to make sure whoever did the roof before that they did a proper installation of the roofing material.
And that's why we offer that free inspection for our customers, because we want to get up there and make sure that all the shingles are down, no shingles are missing, that there's no type of wind damage, hail damage, or flashing. So we just want to do an all overview inspection to make sure that it's doing its job.
Right. And one of the most important things, the reason I said that, we need to have one of our guys there with the adjuster is the insurance company. One of their biggest things is they want to deny claims. They don't want to pay for stuff. So it's really advantageous on the homeowner's behalf to have someone like us, Veterans Construction Services, or, another company that is a reputable company to be with that homeowner, so they have someone to protect them, someone to make sure that they're getting exactly what they should be getting from the insurance company.
Yeah, absolutely. Most people think that the insurance company's kind of on their side. They come off that way on television ads, stuff like that. But really, they're trying to save every penny they can on every claim. And almost every claim that we have, well, I would say 99.9% of our claims need to be supplemented. They're nowhere near where they need to be most of the time to make a profit for a company so they can continue to be in business. So the insurance companies are always trying to save themselves money. And, one thing they do is they always hold back depreciation, and maybe you can kind of go over that, Nate. What depreciation?
Depreciation, very important in the insurance process.
Yeah, so basically, like Mark was touching on, I mean, insurance companies are in the business to save money. I mean, that's all there is to it. The reason I said it's good to have a reputable company on your side is you need someone who's able to supplement your claim. So, for instance, we had a claim here in Pueblo not too long ago that started off at about $15,000. It was roof, maybe some, was it siding?
Yes.
Roof siding, maybe some windows. Started off at $15,000. Well, our guy that did the inspection gave me all the information, pictures, notes, all that good stuff, and I basically supplement the claim. So that means I'm rewriting that claim that the insurance adjuster originally did to make it real life.
He's adding, what he's doing, he's adding items the insurance forgot.
So an insurance company is going to be very black and white. They're going to be like, remove and replace, laminated comp shingle. That's it. In reality, there's a lot of other things that go into that. As far as what Mark was saying, as far as the depreciation goes, the way they do that. So the first claim was for $15,000. They maybe gave us $7,000 up front and withheld, the rest of that they would give us on the back end when the job was finished. Getting back to the point of supplementing it, when we were done supplementing it, it went up to what, $57,000?
$57,000. It ended up settling out for less than that.
Yeah.
Mainly because they didn't want to pay the overhead and profit on the roofing portion of it, which that's a whole other thing is overhead and profit.
Right.
When you have multiple trades, some of them say more than 3 trades on, your Xactimate there, then they pay what they call overhead and profit out, and we call it O&P for short. But, that's something that we always shoot for because we do have an overhead. Our overhead usually runs anywhere from 15 to 18% realistically.
Absolutely.
And, so we need that to pay that overhead, to be able to pay all our employees and stuff like that. So,
well, not only that, but this overhead makes the job easier for the homeowner and the insurance company. And it makes it easier for both because we handle all the trades. We handle every construction trade that goes in it, whether it's the roofing, the gutters, the window, the painters, the siders,
everything,
the guys fixing the deck, the fences. So that takes a lot of pressure off the insurance company because we're the ones dealing with that, contractors, as well as the homeowner, because the homeowner is going to have to look for all these different trades, and what better for us to handle that for you. So that's something that a lot of restoration and in roofing companies don't offer. They just want to take care and do the biggest job money-wise.
Typically the roof. They get in, do the roof, and they get out.
And they leave the homeowner with the bag to do the rest of the work. Same thing with the water and fire restoration. They want to do the drying process or the cleanup, and they want to leave. They don't want to do the rebuild, and we are not that company. We want to be there from the beginning to the end of the project.
Right.
Yeah, Veterans Construction Service absolutely is a general contractor. So we handle all aspects of the claim. That was a good point, guys.
Yeah, and which is good for the homeowner because doing a claims process, I mean, a lot of homeowners in Colorado have done claims processes, so they know it a little bit. But too many people just rely on what their insurance company tells them. And
you shouldn't. And you should.
And you should. And that's kind of the point that we were getting on is having a company, a reputable company like Veterans Construction Services on your side to help the homeowner navigate that insurance process. Because an adjuster is going to come in, he's going to cut you a check, and the homeowner is going to think that's the law. Like that's all they're going to get, and that's just not the point. I mean, it never ends up that way.
Well, and that's part of our job is educating the homeowners about this process.
Yes.
That's probably the biggest thing. And I always tell them that it's very important for us to look over the claim and make sure that it's where it needs to be. But especially just the work that we're going to be performing needs to be done in a certain way, a certain process. We usually start at the top, work our way down. But, I always let homeowners know that we're here for them and stuff through that process.
Well, we just want the insurance company to be fair and honest through that process.
Which is almost impossible anymore.
Well, there's a lot of work that goes into it, so it's a lot of detail, and I'm going to say that sometimes they miss that detail, so it's our job to come in and fill in all the detail of the items they missed, so that in return gets your equity on your house and more work to be done at your house from the damage.
Yeah, I mean, Nate, how many line items do you think there are just on a roof replacement?
I mean, typically there should be anywhere from 15 to 25 on just a typical roof replacement. The insurance company is going to write it. I've seen it before where it's 5 line items.
Yeah, and
you have 5.
That's just how itemized, Xactimate is.
So line items. Explain to one line items are, guys.
So basically a line item would be when an insurance company comes in, they write their loss report. Each piece of, like, let's say the roof, each part of the roof is going to be a line item. So your shingle, that's a line item. Detaching the shingle is a line item. So when you're tearing off, that's a line item. When you're putting on, that's a line item. When you have roof vents, that's a line item. So everything's going to be a separate line item that has its own pay. Insurance companies love to add, say, ridge cap. Every house has hip and ridge. Well, most every house does. Insurance companies like to tell you that the ridge cap is included in the price for the shingle and their waste factor, and that's just not true. I mean, it's just...
Well, they're trying to go back to actually years ago when the 3-tab was a very popular style of roof.
Right.
And you used to be able to cut down a 3-tab shingle and make it into ridge cap.
Right.
So you didn't really have to buy ridge cap. But now with the dimensional shingles, you cannot cut those down to make ridge cap.
Ridge cap's its own separately bundled item.
Exactly. So, and that's kind of where they stemmed from. And, they want to include everything into that, and we know from Xactimate in our experience that is just not true, that those line items need to be added and stuff for roofing,
Right.
But it's not just roofing; it's also about windows,
Well, just any process that we do, siding, windows, gutters. I mean, they leave out more stuff when you start looking at windows and siding and stuff like that. Yeah. They never add in the cleaning aspect, or they're just so black and white. There's never any gray area that we actually do work for, that they just don't want to pay for.
Well, they actually don't have the experience. We're the actual guys out there doing this work. Yeah. So they're sitting behind a desk or traveling to another job, and they've never done this type of work. So we know what it entitles to do this work right. We know what it needs, so we're able to claim that from the insurance.
Yeah, that's a good point, Leonardo, because, they have no idea what it takes. They're not the licensed contractor. They have no license other than maybe to sell insurance in some states.
Or to cut hair.
Right. Yeah, we'll talk about that some more, too, about desk adjusters in their previous jobs.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, they just don't know what it takes to do some of the process. They go through like a 2-week school.
Right.
And I know because I've been through it down in Texas. I went to an adjuster school.
Right.
And got my certification. So I know the kind of training that they went through firsthand. But, they teach you very abruptly a quick process, and mostly it's just pertained to roofing. A lot of them don't know how siding's applied, or different kind of siding, or stucco, or anything like that, unless they've had some construction experience. But getting down to that construction experience, Nate knows some of these people that are in this field. Well, you can tell them, Nate.
Well, as far as some of the adjusters that we run into, the desk adjuster. So a field adjuster is the one that comes out. He does the actual inspection at the home, and when they get done with it, they write it up and they hand it to a desk adjuster. And I'm the one who basically does all the negotiating with the desk adjusters. Well, the desk adjuster's never been to the home, never done anything like that, and I like to research desk adjusters. Like, so when when I get the name of the desk adjuster, I'll look them up on LinkedIn, stuff like that, to see what their experience is, so I know who I'm dealing with. And you wouldn't believe how many times I'm seeing that, 6 months ago they were cutting hair at a barbershop, or they were working at King Supers or something like that.
Supercuts.
They have no idea what they're doing. They go through a crash course with the insurance company, and that's that. It's just.
Then they try to dictate to us over the phone how things should be performed.
Exactly.
And why they won't. Some of them are so terrible that they'll just have a thing they say all the time. And
it's our company's internal policy is what they love saying. Well, it's our company's internal policy. Well, that's cute, but that isn't what it states on the homeowner's actual policy.
And so they can talk to and testify to this, that, the whole thing about Xactimate is it's supposed to be a fair market value program. Yeah. So when we talk about fair market value, all the line items are in there. And if you're performing that work, they should be paying you for that work.
Absolutely.
And that's probably the key point for me, is to make sure we get paid for each and every aspect of that work that we're going to do.
Absolutely.
So Xactimate, guys, Xactimate. What is Xactimate? So Xactimate is a program that we use, and also the insurance companies are the ones that created it. And it's a system to estimate each job, and it puts a number on each job that needs to be done, whether it's a window, whether it's gutter, whether it's a fence.
Yeah, back to the line items again. So every line item has its own value according to
and that's an Xactimate.
Yeah, to the market value of that specific region.
We have that program, guys. We use the Xactimate program just like the insurance companies, so we're able to negotiate professionally with them to get these items approved. Not all companies do this. They just want to do the roof and go.
Oh, they'll just have their notepad and paper and, look at the roof and jot down a number and say, hey, this is how much it is. No, that's not how it's done.
That's not the way you do it.
You have to take your measurements, do your hover report, if you're old school, you can pull out your tape measure.
What's a hover report? Hey, tell them what a hover report is.
So the hover report basically is another phenomenal app that we use, where we basically can take, I think it's 8 pictures. You basically go around the home and you take a picture of each elevation. And that program then it uses an algorithm that I have no idea how they do it. But
it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. But then when we upload all those pictures, it basically pumps us out. It generates a report that gives us every opening in the house, whether it be window, garage door. It gives us roof measurements. It gives us ridge line. It gives us literally every measurement that we need to write that loss report, which again is very important on the customer side, our homeowner, because we're trying to get them the maximum amount of money that they should be getting for their claim. Insurance companies do not want to pay.
They want to save.
Yeah, they want to save. So our company, what we're trying to do is to get the insurance company to pay for every single penny of what they should be paying.
Well, and it's not just about paying. It's about paying for the work that we're performing.
So we can do it correctly.
Right. Because so many companies will come in and, they don't want to go back to the insurance company. No. They'll just take what they're getting, and then they'll cut all these corners, and you end up with, for better phrase, but I want to say half aid, type of work where nothing's performed properly and they skip a bunch of steps because they're not getting paid for it.
Exactly.
Or they put in a cheaper window or door, or, they don't do a good job on the gutters. You get disgruntled employees because they're not making the money they should be making off of these jobs because everybody's cutting corners and it causes a mess. So not all companies are created equal. We want to get the right amount of money to do the job correctly.
Right.
And that, as a business owner, that is my main thing, is to take care of my customers. My name, Veteran Construction Services, is very important to me, and I convey that to everyone who I work with.
Absolutely.
So, I tell them, I want to do the job right. That's a serious name to put out there. I'm representing a lot of people that have done a lot of good for this country.
Absolutely.
And so that's important to me.
Okay, so that was part 1 of the Veterans Construction Services podcast talking about the process of getting your insurance. Check out part 2 coming out next week right here. This podcast, again, brought to you by Veterans Construction Services in Colorado Springs and Pueblo. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great rest of your day.